I didn't bring a microphone with me. I have 3 out of 4 kids home today. I thought that I was going to record in the car, but alas, it is raining right now. And so I am in the Four Seasons room because we've got people working in here today. We've got little ones. And I still wanted to bring this to you. So let me see. We've got a special guest that I'm going to bring on today. And we're going to talk about some fun stuff. I might have to boot you out, little buddy, because he's quite a vocal guy. I can't find Christy. Hang on. Okay, guys. I know. And we will edit this for you too as well. Okay. Allow gas. Okay. There we go. Okay. All right, I sent Christy an invite. We're going to kick this little boy out. He likes to talk too much. I'm going to do a video really quick. And hopefully the rain and background noise is not too much. So I don't know that we'll be able to see your comments. Usually on the profile page, the personal profile page, we can see the comments. So I should be able to see your comments, hopefully, so that we can engage and interact with each other. Otherwise, it'll be me and Christy kind of hanging out a little bit, and I want you to share this out. And let's see, there we go. Today we're going to talk about the tapping into lucky energy, right? So I don't really even believe so much in good luck rather than I do of embodying the energy of someone who is open to receiving, right? And let me just see. I should have brought a different device. This is always a little bit tricky. It says that I've invited you, Christy. Here we go. Okay. Should be working. Give it just a second here. And sometimes the screen gets a little bit weird. Yours looks good. Okay. And on the replay, it could look a little bit weird, but the most important thing is that you guys can hear us, even if it looks a little bit funny on your end. Christy, I can see you beautifully. Can you see and hear me fine?
I can. I'm glad it worked.
Woo! Yes. And welcome to the Potluck, Lucky Bitch.
Yes.
I was just explaining, and I'm sure you'll kind of go into this too. And I don't know, we didn't even really discuss this, but do you believe in like just luck out of the draw necessarily? Or do you think that it's more of like a frequency sometimes?
I definitely see pretty much everything as some sort of frequency, as like some sort of energy that we're putting out that's coming back to us. And exactly. So I think what triggered this decision to have this chat was a post that I made actually back, I think it was on like March 17th on St. Patrick's Day. And I was reflecting about like asking people, do you feel lucky? And I just, it was so interesting to me how people responded in a variety of ways. And I wondered partially if people think like luck could be good or bad, and so they
or
don't
chance.
attach
Sometimes
to that.
they think it's just chance. right? And I
Yeah.
think what we're kind of hinting at too is that necessarily that's not the case.
Yeah.
Is that we can tap into the frequency of being a lucky person. And as both, I think you've worked in the space of like life coaching and intuitive coaching, right? From what we've
Yeah.
shared. And something that I've definitely seen with clients is that some clients just have this coding that they're always waiting for the other shoe to drop, right? It couldn't be me. That couldn't happen to me. I don't have luck like that. And sometimes they see us online. And I know I can resonate with this, that in the beginning, I would feel like, well, they're just lucky. Like they got lucky online having a following or a book or a coaching practice. I didn't believe it could be me until I really shifted into that energetic space of what if, maybe, right?
Yeah.
And so while we're playfully talking about this, and even I don't use the B word often, and I haven't seen you be really spicy with your messaging either today. And I was chatting with a friend and they were like, oh, that's a little bit like out there, right? And I was like, you'll just have to join because using that word in a not derogatory way, right? It has an energy, right? That we're claiming it regardless of who else it might offend, and also unapologetically. And you have to be a bit delusional in the beginning, especially, okay, when you're building things online, you guys. Like, you guys have heard me tell my story. Like, I didn't get lucky. I am a high school dropout. My last job that I worked for someone was a professional dancer, right? A decade ago, 3 babies ago, 100K a year. But all of it is a mindset. All of it is a frequency. And I had to do a lot of work and a lot of steps. Often we talk about healing as an onion. It just feels like it because you'll unpeel a layer and it's not like an apple where you have the fruit under. It is like an onion where there's another layer, just like the same layer. It's a little smaller than the layer before, right? But it's still an onion. It's still a layer. Our growth, our development, and our mindset is just like that. And tapping into the frequency of becoming a lucky bitch isn't about getting lucky.
Yeah, right? It's funny. It's an interesting word. And I think people do really associate it with like just pure chance as like something completely external to themselves. And I think that that's one of the things I picked up on from the comments to my Are You Lucky? Why or Why Not post. People were commenting they don't believe in luck. They don't really think that's a thing. Instead, they felt more comfortable saying that they were blessed or that they were grateful. And I would argue that all of those things, I'm really a both and kind of gal.
Absolutely.
I am lucky and I'm blessed and I'm grateful. All of those things can coexist. And I think that the reason a lot of people don't want to talk about being lucky is because they think it's some external thing that they have no control of. But in my perspective, I say I'm a lucky bitch by choice, right?
Yes.
I'm choosing this. I'm choosing to look for the things that I think feel like luck, just because it feels good, right? I'm seeking out things that feel good. And by chance, guess what? I find more things that feel good. And like you said, there are the people who are waiting for the other shoe to drop, those people that believe, oh, bad luck comes in threes. And so they're waiting for the next 2 or 3, 1 or 2 more things to complete their bad luck cycle so that they can finally relax. But we tend to find what we're looking for. And so if we want to be a lucky bitch, we got to start looking for the little things. And if we're looking for them, we're much more likely to see them. We're likely to notice, oh, there's a parking spot right out front. Or, that bill was less than I thought it was going to be, or whatever the case may be. But if we're not looking for it, if we just are like going about our business, assuming we're not really lucky, maybe even we do feel blessed, and that's fine. That's like a bit semantics, I think. So we can call it blessings if we want to. I don't think it really changes the nature of what it feels like
Abundance
inside.
is abundance, right?
Yeah.
Fulfillment and what brings you joy. It's all like a potluck.
Yeah. Potluck of blessings and gratitude and luck. If you you know, don't have an oppositional defiance against that word itself, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I love what you said about when we find what we're looking for. This is really attached to like a Buddhist proverb. I learned this from Ram Dass's work. Wherever we look, we'll find what we're looking for. If all we're looking for is love, all we'll find is love, right?
Yeah.
Welcome, Micah. Yes, you got to catch us live. I hope that you're feeling better. I was sitting with something today after a meditation, Christy, that was how everything's trying to kill us, right? I'm a mom of four, you guys. I'm a single mom of four. I work chronically on the internet full time in today's age. And I'm also a highly sensitive person. I had to do a lot of work to learn how to observe things, not absorb everything, to not spiral out. And I do allow myself to unhinge and explore. And you guys get to see that in real process online in my messaging. But I was thinking about today how everything is trying to kill us. The air is not clean. The water is not clean. Capitalism fucking sucks. There's so much. People want to like rape our kids, eat babies, like anything you could think of, toxins, right? This is why our brain filters out 90% of reality. And it's also why it's very easy to just always find the things that our ego wants to protect us from. We actually have to do the work to believe and move from the space of what if to I am, right? So when I pull into a place, maybe I'm going into the city for a doctor's appointment. I live in a rural area. I'm not used to that. That's kind of stress invoking for me to have to drive 2 hours into the city, figure out, navigate parking. And I will literally say myself, I am going to get the best parking space right up front. And I anchor it in with love and gratitude codes that we're also using. And I will always get the space, you guys, okay? But I'm doing the work, okay? I'm doing the work to set the intention that I'm a lucky bitch and my guides are going to come through and they're going to open a space for me so that I'm not walking all over stressed, late to my appointment, getting babies out of car seats, right? And so I'm really powerful into I am affirmations, right? This is something that I really work in. And I think of just moving from that messaging internally begins to send out a different signal into the universe, because we have to look at everything as energy, right? And your nervous system and your brain are essentially a hardware that is filtering out all of this programming. And so it is going to feel like if you weren't naturally born into a family where all your needs were met very quickly, you never got let down by parents or society because of finances or a chronically ill parent or whatever it was. It doesn't necessarily have to be traumatic neglect and like somebody really brutalized you. It can be these little things that code into us that we then automatically get into this snowball of just automatically thinking shit's going to go bad, right?
Yeah, expecting the worst.
Expecting the worst. And so this is a game that you guys can start to really play with yourselves, right? Christy's not necessarily inherently lucky. I'm not inherently lucky. We are doing the work to tap in and embody the frequency of believing that more is possible and allowing in the entire field of infinite possibilities then that to become what the nervous system replicates, right? Would you say that feels pretty relevant if you were talking to someone that's like chronically unlucky?
I mean, for sure. And let's bring in a scientific perspective too, because I'm a very logical kind of gal.
Yeah.
Our reticular activating system, which is part of our brain filter, is literally the function by which a lot of this works. When we talk about seeking the things that you want, it is the filter, and it automatically filters what is familiar, right? So that's sort of like the laid back autopilot mode, is it filters in what is familiar, because for your body, for your nervous system, that feels safe. Safe, familiar, comfortable. It's what you expect. And if you want to shift that, if you want to start creating something a little bit different for yourself, having different experiences, seeing different things play out, then you've got to just intentionally work with that system to take it off autopilot where you're choosing. And just like you said, Jessica, this idea of being lucky, it's really not like, oh, I rolled the dice and I just happened to be lucky. It is by choice. And that post that I wrote started with that. I'm a lucky bitch, and it's by choice, right?
Because yes, luck is not by chance, it's by choice.
It's by choice because you're choosing where you want to direct your energy, where you want to focus your thoughts, your intentions, your movements, because what we believe, right, affects what we do.
Exactly.
And the more that we believe good things are happening, the more likely we are to take action to make those good things happen. And then it seems kind of like it's by magic, by chance, but it's not really at the root of it, because we have put ourselves in that position both to filter it in and to be able to receive it. And those are really crucial pieces of this, because, you know, I speak a lot about relationships.
Yep.
And a thing that comes up a lot is that people, there's a lot of discussion about like how you need to be ready to receive love. And I think there's both truth to that, and then there's another side to it too, because you're already worthy of the love.
Yes.
Right? You're already worthy of the luck too. You're already worthy and deserving of all of the good things coming your way, whether it be relationships or a parking spot. It's not about your worth. It is about whether you're capable of receiving, whether you're open to different experiences. And a lot of people have said, you know, you can only meet someone else to the depth that you've met yourself. I think the same thing applies to both love and to luck. The more you love yourself, the more safe and familiar it feels, and the more you're able to receive that from people outside of you, right? Or you're able to experience
it. Coherently, without question, really.
Right. And that's the only real way to feel loved, right? Without, like, unconditional love, I think is really an interesting piece. And I feel like it's kind of, you know, gets down some of the same things as the luck thing.
Yes.
Because a lot of people don't think it exists because they maybe haven't experienced it. They think, oh, it can only exist.
Well, there are situations where love is contractual, right? And we're operating from so much of that we've forgotten there is this whole other real deeper aspect of starting with ourselves, because truly the only person that we can love unconditionally totally is like ourselves, right?
Well, and I'm like, so my argument around unconditional love is that it's not without boundaries, because that wouldn't be unconditionally loving to ourselves. I think true unconditional love must be unconditional love for you and for the other person. So sometimes we need to love a person from a distance, and that can be unconditional. I mean, my loving them isn't contingent on their behaviors, but I'm still not going to allow them to come into my life and wreak havoc, right? That's still a personal boundary, and I can just love them from over there.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people would argue that's very hard to do. There are people they have very strong feelings about. That's a discussion, I guess, for another time. But I think when it comes to luck, it's kind of the same thing. Is, you know, what we believe about it affects our ability to receive it. And it's how we feel inside that opens us up to receive the experience of luck, right? It's not something out there. It's really, truly something within.
Yes. And so a word that came up for me just while you were sharing all of that is co-regulation. Yeah. Right? So we've got to be able to self-regulate, and then the universe is regulating, and same thing in a relationship. Then we come together and we also learn to co-regulate. And your relationship or mindset or frequency with abundance, luck, manifesting a desire is essentially a co-regulation with the universe, right? That you're setting this condition that I'm going to set the intention that I believe that this can happen for me, and then allowing that to happen, but not attaching to an outcome that just because I claimed it, now I deserve it, right? It's a little bit more playful than that. And I think
Yeah,
that's where gratitude can come into play. I think that's where, having some discipline can come into play, is not expecting, thank you, Micah, that's resonating, not expecting something's going to necessarily happen, but setting the intention that you are someone that it can happen to, right?
exactly. And then, yeah, I want to touch on a little bit there, not arguing with what is. You know, Byron Katie talks about arguing
Mm.
with reality, and that is a futile waste of your time, right? And so
Yes,
having grace and having, a playful attitude towards it means you're open to receive, but you're not expectant. It's like when you give a gift, but you expect some kind of gratitude or some kind of response,
right.
is it truly a gift?
No, we're
Right?
setting that block out as a signal, right? And
Now
that's
it's a
what people,
contract that
yeah,
they didn't know
something.
about.
Something I really want to touch on too, that there's this huge kind of disparity that I'm seeing in the market, and I've even started to pull back some of my messaging, is like people who are really chronically suffering or in poverty, and maybe say they've even been born into it, right? And we hear a lot online like being poor is a choice or poverty is a choice. I want to say, even if you find yourself like in this karmic pattern, and maybe you have found yourself in a really unbelievably unlucky place, right? And I've worked with these clients, I've gotten women out of really gnarly situations. This is not, this is not like ethically, I want to say you are also included in this. And we're not saying that bad things that are happening to people are their fault, right? Or that
Absolutely
you're
not.
unlucky because you're not getting this or you're doing something wrong. We're simply saying there are codes to the structure and fabric of reality. And we're here to say that you can absolutely shift timelines and tap into a different frequency, but it is going to require work. It is going to maybe feel different and uncomfortable and delusional and crazy. And like, I watched Christy and Jessica talk it on their live and it was really believable, but it's not showing up for me in reality yet, right? What would you say, just kind of adding to that? Because I know you've seen that online too, and we have to be so careful with what we teach and what we're coaching, right? And we're not immune to
Yeah,
that, understanding that what we're teaching can feel dangerous to
absolutely.
some groups.
Yeah, I mean, I think that none of the negative situations that you found yourself in are something that you deserve to be feeling guilt or shame about. Because listen, we're all humans, we're all on a path, and we're all doing, I firmly, firmly believe that we are all always doing the very best that we can with the resources and understanding that we have at the moment. And so when we make a decision in that moment, we are doing the best possible thing that we know how to do. Sometimes, okay, quite a lot of the time, if we're honest, as humans, we later on have additional information. And
Yes.
so as we look back, we think, oh my gosh, that was so dumb. I can't believe I did that. I totally fucked up and like I made this huge mistake and like, oh,
Yep.
but you really didn't, right? It's only the hindsight that is giving you this additional information. If you would have known then, right, you would have chosen differently.
And our
And so
best
again, this is
changes, our
right.
best changes by the day, by the moment sometimes.
And it's not about blaming yourself for where you are now. If you've been in a situation where you have been in any sort of situation of small t or big T trauma, it's not your fault, right? So that is baseline all the time. And because I'm a both and kind of girl, we get to choose how we move forward from here with the
Yes.
information that we have from here. This has, and I realize, listen, I have been in shitty situations too, right? And it's not like some crazy, lucky thing happened and everything changed. It was the small decisions, baby steps to start shifting things, to start looking, to seek out things that felt really good, right? And at a lot of times when we have experienced any kind of trauma, we aren't maybe seeking out the things that feel good. We may
Right.
not feel like we're worthy or deserving of having those things. They may not feel familiar, and it might create some dissonance that requires a little bit of overcoming because it's just not what you're used to.
Right. It's
Right?
not the default program.
Yeah. And
The
so baby
program can't
steps.
change. Yeah.
Baby steps and shifting the underlying belief. For me, it's a lot to do with identity underneath. So we have our mindsets and our beliefs, and those are all really stacked upon this sort of foundation of who we believe we are. And if we can start to shift things at that level to believe we're whole, because you are, right? But it's not that everybody just doesn't believe it yet. We all are. We're made wonderfully whole, perfectly imperfect, because we're humans and we still make mistakes.
And we're born that way. You guys aren't born sinners.
We're born whole, right? I really dislike the whole born sinners, broken, bad. No, that's a whole tangent.
We need to let that's not lucky bitch potluck.
That's not.
Don't bring that to the potluck, baby.
No.
Unless you're ready to unpack it and put it down the garbage disposal, right, Christy?
Yeah. It's not it. Okay. That's it. It's not it. You're not, there's nothing wrong with you. You are not inherently bad. You are inherently lucky. It's just that you may not be looking to see and experience that. You may not be as open as you could be. And again, it's probably no fault of your own. It's just what's happened to you in your past shapes your current experience. So how do you want to choose to respond right here, right now, so that you can move forward and start experiencing more of that shit that lights your soul on fire? Absolutely. Because that's what you're here for.
Yes, you guys show us some fire in the chat. Hashtag lucky bitch if you are definitely resonating with what we're putting down and are catching this on the replay, which most of you will be. Christy, it's been so lovely to have you. Is there anything else that you would love to add that you think people just need to know? And while she's thanking you guys, I want you to just put a story of when you were really feeling lucky in the chat, or if you're not feeling lucky and you need some good lucky shamrock sent your way. And then also, Christy, let everybody know how they can maybe work with you, what projects you've got coming on. I know you've got like a retreat maybe that you have tickets for. Maybe it's sold out. I won't say too much. I'll let you do it.
Well, actually, one of the things that lights me all the way up is travel. And another piece of what I really am exploring sort of for 2026, something that I feel like is a little bit missing, or maybe it's been put to the wayside because we live in a world that's very individualistic. We've gotten to a place where I feel like genuine community can be somewhat lacking. And so because I'm very passionate, I've written a couple of books on getting unstuck and creating healthy, loving relationships. These are sort of my passions. Obviously, you can tell it comes down to that relationship with self. That's really the foundation. So I do work with women to reconnect with themselves. Listen, I'm nobody's guru. I don't have all of the answers, but you do. And working with a guide sometimes can help you to unlock those parts that you're just not seeing within yourself, and to give yourself the confidence to start making those shifts. Back to the travel and the community, because this is the thing that's lighting me all the way up right now, is I have a couple of amazing private group tour adventures. So if you are looking to build connection with real humans in real time, build in some epic adventures, seeing the world. We've got a trip touring Belize, Guatemala, and Mexico next February, and then we're doing an Egypt and Jordan tour next October. We do have spots available for both of those, so just DM me and ask for the details. This is about coming together, about having a personal transformation, building genuine community with other people who want to genuinely find connection with real people in real time, while, you know, exploring the reaches of humanity. So if that's something that's
wonders of the world, yeah,
then join us.
Pretty lucky to me.
Yeah, right? And I feel just so lucky and blessed and grateful and just overcome with bliss and joy to be able to create these opportunities to go and explore the world, to connect with people. Like, selfishly, I created it because I'm like, I want more connection, right? Yes. I want to build genuine in-person connection with people who feel safe to be their full, authentic human self, and just to bring together people who feel the same way. Like, to me, that is honestly, like I say, it's selfish, but it's also just truly a gift. So
Yes. And it's not by chance that Christy
No.
is getting to do these amazing things and take these trips and build community. It is by choice. So with that, we're going to leave you lucky bitches to ponder
Yes.
on that and watch the replay. We'll throw this on YouTube. Christy has a podcast, you guys.
Yep.
Where can they find that, Christy?
My podcast is called Create Your Happy, and you can find that wherever you listen to podcasts, YouTube and all of the podcast places. So, yep.
Amazing. And she is based in Canada.
I
Correct?
am.
So you guys, if all my Canada audience who are always telling me, Jessica, the price is too expensive to convert to have you work with me, highly recommend Christy. She's going to get you incredible results. So Christy, I hope that you have an amazing rest of your week. It was so lovely to get to collaborate with you. And you've been in my aura since last year. We connected over just discussions of book collab and writing. And it's just been a pleasure to have you in my network and get to enjoy your posts and kind of bounce things off of each other and play online. So thank you so much for joining me today.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks so much for having me. And to all those lucky bitches out there, come back and tell us how that luck showed
we
up
want
in
to
your
hear
world
from
today.
you how things start to transform and shift as you shift that mindset and that perspective and make a choice to become a lucky bitch. So
yes.
Sending you so much love, Christy. I'll chat with you soon.